The holes, I realized I messed up. There's a big question on the holes that people did was the threads. And it's because I have a page on threads that I was going to move into this hole assignment. So the holes, I've got kind of a little bit of information on the holes in general, and I go straight into making holes. But I forgot to give you more, and there's the video at the bottom on fasteners, which is kind of the big fastener lecture and everything. It's, I think, over an hour. So you guys should have watched that. But under next week's that I forgot to combine into that, which I'm going to do today, is this one on threads. And it's got a much shorter 3-minute video just on threads. And also some better pictures. So I'm going to put this into that other page. So I'll do that today while you guys are in lab or working. And so in Imperial threads, let me look at this tactical chart. So metric threads always start with an M. If it has an M, it's metric. If it has a number or a fractional size, it's an imperial thread. And so sometimes I'll put a number sign in front of it, sometimes I just put the number. So like on the whole one, I just called out a 1224 screw, or 1224 thread there, right? So right here, 1224 UNC-2B. So the 12 is the size. So the first number is always the size of a thread. So if we look there, number 12 is here. The diameter is 0.216, but we don't need to know about it. Diameter is number 12. And then it's 24 threads per inch. So if we look here, under 12, we have 3 options, a 24, a 28, and a 32. So 24 is coarse threaded, 28 is fine threaded, 32 is extra fine threaded.
Is that up to us to decide, or is it?
No, I'm telling you right here what I want. UNC just tells you that it's Unified National coarse thread. So Unified National is the shape. Coarse is that out of these 3, it's the coarse one. It has less teeth per inch, bigger threads. 2B, 2 tells you that it's a class 2, so an average fit. B tells you it's a hole. A is a screw. So that's just kind of extra stuff that's, sometimes you'll see it with just the 1224 UNC. But the correct call out is everything in the depth of 1/2 inch. So if we're looking in Fusion for that, I picked there to make a hole. So in this whole box, we always work top down in the dialog box. If you change something down lower and then you change something higher, it's going to reset your values. So I'm going to tell it it's going to be a tapped hole. And then I go down the box to tell it, yes, I want it to be unified screw threads. That's the Unified National. It's not metric, it's the regular inches. Now I tell it what size. So if I scroll down, it stops at 4. It stops at a 4-inch hole. If you have a hole bigger than 4 inches, now you have to do it and actually just, or that 4-inch thread, because that's kind of that's where Unified National threads stop, is at 4 inches. If you're doing just a hole, you can go, whatever size you want. But if you're doing a tapped hole, it stops at 4, and people will get here and be like, there's no 12, right? Well, because remember, it's a number 12, not 12 inches. So even if I look at 4, you can see it's 4, 4. So it's 4 inches diameter, 4 threads per inch. So that's not 24. So I want to go up, and once you get lower than a 1/4 inch, now you see all the numbered sizes. So now you can see that 0.216 is the number 12. Or 0.19 is the number 10. Or 138 is number 6. So, but don't worry about the decimal, just go by the number sign. And once you pick one of those, now the next one, you can see all the options. So 24, 28, 32, those are the standard sizes. So coarse, fine, extra fine. And all the ones with S, those are specialty. So those are ones you're gonna not find that often. So coarse is if you go to Lowe's, Home Depot, Fresno Ag, you're gonna find the coarse thread. You might find the fine threads on some of them, but the coarse is gonna be the one that you usually get. Those are gonna be the ones on the shelf. If they do have the fine, it's gonna be like the little baggie that's $1 for like 6 of them. That's gonna be the coarse. When you go into the drawers and buy them for like $1 each, that's gonna be the fine. So you pick that, and in class 2 or 3. It's not giving you the option for a 1 because that's just a super loose fit. Usually it's not used that much. So 2 is normal, 3 is extra fine. So a tighter fit. And then you can have tell it right or left. Right-handed is standard, so unless it says left-handed, you do it right. But let's say I want this hole to be centered on this arc. What do you think I should do? So I could drag it. There's an easier way. So this one works. So every other kind of hole, I'm going to make a sketch, make points, constrain those points. If it's going to be centered on a fillet, I just click on the face and then click the edge. Boom, and it locks it in concentric. One thing that doesn't work though is if I go in and I start it here. Oh, they changed it. That used to not work. It used to be that if the was covering part of the edge, it wouldn't let you. Maybe it. Yeah, see, if it's covering part of the arc edge though, it won't let you. As long as it's not touching part of that arc, you can still pick that arc and center it. And that will stay centered, just to let you see. If I go back, next point was, I need to change the dimension. How do I change the dimension?
Double-clicking it.
Yeah, double click it on the item, on the feature. So if it's on a feature, double click the feature, and I can adjust it. And you see that hole moved and it's now still in the center. If it's in a sketch, double click on the sketch. I want to change that 4-inch dimension to 5. What do? Do I add a new dimension? What if I add a new dimension? What's going to happen? And then what's going to do what? It's going to make it driven, right? Because I already have one controlling it. This is the driving dimension. If I do the same dimension again, it's going to be a driven dimension. And it's just going to give me the same measurement of what the other one is. So don't add a new sketch. Just go in and double click on the existing one. And I can change it to 5. And then finish the sketch, and the part changes. Okay? There is one other place we can do this. So if you have a few different changes, or if you have a part that you know you're going to change something, if you go to Modify, and go to Parameters. And now I can just say add some custom parameters. I can say like height, and then say I know I want that to be 2, and just add it in as a parameter. And I can use that later on whatever I want. But if I go to the model right here, and I expand that, I can see, oh, there's my sketch 1, and there's my 2 dimensions. So if I change this to be 3, it changes the part. If I look at my extrude, there's the height. Oh, no, I actually want that to be the height. And now if I change the height up here, it'll change that right there. Because remember, it knows it can do math. I can even say I want this to be the height divided by 2. And I can make that equation as complex as I want.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So if you want to do dimensions, you can't really use fractions, can you? If you want to use a quarter of an inch, you have to use a decimal.
But you can do it as in parentheses. But yeah.
Oh, parentheses.
Yeah. Yeah. So like that's because this is the height is an inch value divided by 2. That's a fraction, right? I could also go to that fillet, adjust the size of that fillet. And I can go to that hole and change the depth diameter of that hole. All from right here in there. But that's a standard hole, so I can just do it there. Okay, I can't change the type of hole though, but I can change the size of it. And so this is an easy way, if you have some things you want to change, you can just come here, change them up. And if you things you know you're going to change, or you're going to use that same value over and over again, you can set that as value here, and then call it out wherever you want, and then just change it once here, and it changes it everywhere. So like a wall thickness, or a clearance between parts, or something like that. So this is kind of a, just so you know it's kind of here. It's here. We're going to use it more later on, but if you want to start using this a little bit more, go for it. Sometimes it's easier to open that and change some values rather than opening sketches and extrusions and things. Okay.